What is up, guys? We are just tinkering around in the shop today. Really nothing crazy. I'm not doing a whole bunch. I really want to get some body work done. I'm gonna wait till my buddies come down. It's Colton and Logan. Colton knows enough more about body work than me, and I'll at least let him teach me a little bit so I don't mess anything up. But we're messing with the drip rail today. To be honest with you, I should have never messed with it. I should have just left it alone. But I've seen some trucks and I loved the look of the shaved drip rail, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I wish I wouldn't have even started it. But let's take a look. I really like the smoothness. I think it looks really good, and I wish I could just leave it like this and kind of taper it off, because I don't know why, and this is the only reason I'd want to do it, but whenever I'm washing it and stuff and buffing it, I hate the drip rail because I can't get to where I need to get to. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but from a detailer standpoint, it's a very real thing. I absolutely hate it. So I wish I could leave it like this. If I wanted to rip the rest of the drip rail off already, and if I could buy a new one, I would just put a new one on and start it right here and taper it off and tack it down and do this to both sides. But I'm already to up here, so I'm trying to figure out if I could taper it off right here and not do the front, because this is becoming quite the hassle. We're gonna get the welder and weld a seam here, and then grind it down. But the other side, if I wouldn't have taken so much of it off already, I could have tapered it off, and I think it would have looked pretty good. But we haven't messed with this side yet. But I wanted to shave it so I could see all up under here, because you can see it looks like there's some rusty looking parts under here. But I was looking at it, and it looks like it's just on the drip rail itself. It doesn't look like it's in the cab. So that's what I was curious about. So I'm gonna have to pull the windshield and take a good look at it, because if that's just completely toast, then I'm gonna have to figure something else out. But I don't think it is. But I'm wondering if I can taper off the drip rail like right here. It might look dumb, but I'm starting to thinking I might keep this truck for a while. I don't know. I would really like to keep this truck and go for the record, for the VE record, but I'm gonna need to get this engine all done right. And really, I should have just did the engine, let the whole thing alone, and put some straight panels on it and done it and made it look like a sleeper. But we are kind of messing with the drip rail. I need to get some of it ground down and then figure out what I'm gonna do over here, because it's a lot of work. For the guys that have done it, I'm impressed, because it's definitely a lot of work, and it's going to take some work to make it look good as well. So we're going to assess it and get that side looking how I want it, and then I'm just going to copy it on this side and make it look right. And hopefully we can get a welder over here, and we will lay a seam on that side over there and grind it down and do all the body work we need. It's very, very windy. I think some weather's going to be blowing in here before long. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we'll eventually get this part sanded over here. We're going to keep on messing with the drip rail until then. So, we're just messing around in the shop tonight. I messed with that drip rail and I stopped because that seam kept coming farther apart. And I got to figure out a game plan with that and what I'm going to do with that. Whenever I fill the holes in the panels, I'm probably going to have to weld a seam right there. And I'll just see what I can do. And now that I've done it, I wish I wouldn't have. I'm going to try and see if I can get away with not shaving the whole drip rail, but we'll see. If I have to, then I have to, but it's going to be a ton of work. So, yeah, I shouldn't have jumped into it like I did. It was dumb. But anyways, we messed around a little bit tonight, and I threw one of the Cheyennes and 420s on the first gen, and I'll throw a picture up right here. And holy cow, does it look freaking awesome. That is basically, I don't know, just seeing that makes me want to keep the truck. So, I don't know, we might keep it. I might keep this one for a while and have fun with it, because that looks pretty sweet, and I think this thing could be pretty fun. But I had two dog dish and hubcaps, or dog dishes and beauty rings sitting over here. So I couldn't put all four on, but I put two on one side. And if it's light enough out, we'll take a look at it. You can kind of see it. It's hard to see the back one. I'll show you guys whenever I pull it in, but I washed them off because they were so dirty. But those just two we had laying around in the barn at our farm from my uncle's 93, then he didn't want them. Of course, the two front ones that are open are gone, but yeah, we threw 2 of those on there. I'll have to source 2 more. It won't be a big deal, but it looks pretty sweet. Yeah, we're gonna fire this thing back up and pull it in, and then this next little clip, there was water. We'd washed some stuff, and there's some water in the driveway, so I figured we better see if this thing will do a good 1-tire fire. And by God, it did. So let's throw up that video and we'll take a look at it. Not bad for a, well, it's just, I mean, it's a bedless open diff 2-wheel drive. I mean, it could do a burnout with no power, but everything's basically stock besides that 12 cm housing. I mean, the pump hasn't been touched, but hopefully we'll get a limited slip differential in this thing, and it'll actually, I mean, burn them both, and it might get down the get out of its own way a little bit better with one. I was trying to look for some axle for it, but there's no luck. And if I spend a little bit of money, Yukon makes a limited slip 307 for this thing, and I figured with a 47 with lockup and overdrive and a 307 compared to this 3-speed with no overdrive and 307s, I bet you could probably cruise at 80 very, very easy and being no RPM. So we'll probably go that route, and then this thing would be cool. But my 47 RE that I've got sitting here that's for a 4-wheel drive, I talked to Logan Yelton at Logan Built, and he said that he can put a tail shaft housing on this and it'll go in my 2-wheel drive. So I think we're going to go that route. We will have Logan do our trans. He is the man, as you guys know. He did Sam, the Duramax that you always see in Sam's shop that we always used to work in. That's who built his Allison, and holy cow, it shifts great. I've heard nothing but great comments from stuff that Logan's done, so I'm hands down obviously going to go with him. But we're going to get this unit set up for, we'll probably have it built for 600. I don't know, we'll probably end up doing a triple disc billet converter and a billet input. I'm not so sure on the output side of things. I'm going with whatever he recommends. That's what we're going to do. If you guys know Coda, which is kind of the king right now, he's setting the VE record, or he set the VE record 12 for a 12 mil and a 12 valve 556, and he was, whenever he set that number, I believe he was on a single disc billet converter and not a billet input. And he just recently I think went through the converter or something, so he put a triple disc billet converter and a billet input in his. So I'm just going to go right off the bat and go that route. And this thing will lay down some power, full manual valve body, ratchet shifter, whole 9 yards. Because it is an RE, if I bought a controller to control it and make it shift itself, then I could, but I'd rather just have the full manual valve body. They're pretty sweet. I won't be, well, I'll probably drive this thing more than I think, but I won't be dailying the truck. It'll be a blast. But the little 12 valve that could, that's what we're going for. Looks very simple under the hood now. I am ready to get this thing shot with paint, and then I don't know, before I lay down paint on it, I should probably go ahead and take the core support out and all this stuff out and yank the engine, and I'm going to reseal it, and especially that rear main. I'm putting new rear main in, resealing the engine, and I mean, I've got an oil pan gasket. I've got everything for the most part to reseal it, and I would just like to do that for good conscience, or yeah, I'd say good conscience. I don't know what other word I'd use, and to clean it up, kind of repaint the block and do some fancy looking powder coat under there. I mean, it'll be nice, way nicer than anything I've had, but you know, the stuff to make it look good, and I don't know, kind of make it fun to pop the hood and show people what it is, which it might not look like much, but it would be cool to have all that powder coat. So that is the plan for all that. It's very easy to pull one of these engines. It's not a big deal. It'll just be getting all this stuff out. And I'm going to be going through all the fluids and everything. Even though it's got a new fuel filter, the oil has been changed within the last, I don't know, this thing hasn't even drove 10 miles, so within that. But I do kind of, I don't know, whenever we load it up on the trailer to take it to weld some of the stuff, we're going to need to put some fuel in the tank. But, yeah. Okay, like I said, my allergies are getting the best of me, so I'm going to go inside. But I've got a good story for you real quick. We've been trying to source welds for the first gen. You guys have commented and said, Gav, throw welds on it. And I've been trying my hardest. And I found some on Marketplace, a set that I've been keeping track of for, I would say, seriously, I'm not joking either, about up to a year. I keep tabs on all the welds, local, and any of them I find, I keep tabs on them. And this guy, he only wanted to trade for 20-inch chrome wheels. Didn't have any. I was like, whatever. But I saved them, and I've been harping on him. I was like, I will buy those wheels. I'll give you cash for them. Finally, he said he'll sell them. He said $450 for the wheels, $750 for tires and wheels. Tires were some highway train, 17-inch. I mean, nothing I want. They're not. I mean, I've already got tires. I don't want those. I was like, all right. $450, I will come buy the wheels this weekend. Absolutely, I'll be there. And then right after that, he replies, well, I'd rather sell the wheels and tires together. And I was like, well, you just told me $450 for the wheels, so I'm taking $450 for the wheels. We've got a deal. And he's like, well, now I got somebody that's wanting to come and buy the wheels and tires for $700. Like, what? It's like, I don't know. Anytime that I find something and I want it seems to be that somebody else all of a sudden wants it too. These things have seriously been posted for a year, nothing, and now all of a sudden somebody else wants them. So that's the story of my life. I'm going to still try my best to get them, and hopefully that falls through for that guy, but if I can get them, we will have a set of welds for the first gen, and we'll be rocking and rolling. They might go on the 05. I don't know. We'll see. But we can interchange them. It'll be sweet. But this is just basically your update video, so we'll be doing some stuff tomorrow and the next day. So until then, I will see you guys, and we will be right here on the Old School Crew for another video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and we will see you next time.